Hello, YouTube. I am so excited to be live with you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream for the Are You Green podcast. I have been streaming the podcast live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I love doing the podcast live. I feel like I can connect with you guys so much more when you can really see me and we can have more of a normal conversation. So I'll go ahead and queue up the podcast to start recording. I do want to mention, since I talked about it enough already on my podcast, that I did have a personal family emergency last week, and that's why I was not able to go live on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. That being said, please keep in mind that 2020 has been such an incredibly rough year for so many people. We have lost so many this year, family, friends. So, even strangers, these are people part of our community that we've lost. So if you're listening out there, please stay safe, please wear a mask, and please support others when they're going through these tough times. So, I did really appreciate the support that I got from the podcast listeners reaching out to me. And I'm just really grateful that I do have a supportive family to get through these tough times. So for everyone out there, please stay safe. And thank you again for your understanding last week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, traders and friends. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, and I'm very excited to be back live streaming on YouTube. So thank you for all of those tuning in, and you can check out my YouTube channel to see a recording of the past live streams. Getting right into it, today has been a great day for so many people as the market hits record highs. I think that, with December here and the beginning of the month, people are just ready for 2020 to be over. The international markets saw a bump. The dollar price went up. And, we are up in the S&P 500, Dow Jones. All of those indicators are showing green. So it's really, exciting to see the enthusiasm that people have around December and around the upcoming 2021, since we are all just ready to leave 2020 behind. Also, as a trader, whenever I see these big highs hit, I just feel like there is a low coming soon. So I'm going to, be excited and wait for that drop and then buy at those great opportunities. But diving into today, the S&P 500 opened up at 365.60 from a previous close of 362. It's now around 366. And of course, it's green. The XLK technology sector opened at 124.50. Previously, it was 123.48. That was the previous close. So already up from overnight. And then right now it's sitting a little over 125. So is the technology sector green? Of course it is. And to ask the question everybody wants, are you green in my personal accounts? Yes, I am, but ever so slightly. I have a few swings that have really gone against me, and then a few that are very high up. So overall, I am just barely sitting green. But I was able to sell some stock today. This morning, it finally hit those levels. So we'll talk about that. I entered into a swing trade with NIO, NIO. So I definitely want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it later. But for those that, just listen to the first 5 or 10 minutes, do not buy this stock right now. A lot of times I love when people follow me in my swings and we're all able to profit. The NIO swing, NIO, I'm very concerned about this swing, so do not follow me. But we'll learn a little bit more what my plan is for this swing, as well as just covering some of the top news stories for today. So thanks again for tuning in. And when we come back, we'll have news, we'll have info about my personal trades, what I bought, what I sold, and an outlook for the week. Awesome. So we do, a little bit of a break when I'm recording live, since I do have to actually record the podcast at the same time. For those of you who haven't heard of Anchor, it's a great podcast hosting site. It's owned by Spotify. That's where I do my podcast. It makes it really easy, and they're a great company. They don't sponsor me yet, but maybe one day. Okay, let's just get into the next segment. News today has been optimistic about a variety of things, optimistic about the vaccines. Hospitals are actually planning out how they're going to store the vaccines, how they're going to distribute the vaccines, who is receiving the vaccines first, and people are ready. So I think that optimism drove the stock market up today, as well as optimism for a stimulus package. We have been talking about this stimulus relief so much. I know you guys are probably sick of it, because guess what? Nothing's happened, and nothing is going to happen in the foreseeable future, unfortunately. I'm thinking maybe we'll see something come out around January or February, but it still looks very grim today. Both sides of the aisle, Democrat, Republican, everybody is in agreement that we need a stimulus relief package, and that this is something that other families and people around the country are depending on small businesses as well as individuals to receive our stimulus checks, as well as the unemployment benefits that are ending for people this month. So there's definitely an urgency in that both sides want this package. The unfortunate part is that nobody is actually compromising yet. So the most recent news on this was that Nancy Pelosi had sent something to Mitch McConnell just today, like a couple hours ago, that was supposed to make some groundbreaking movement. We'll see. I mean, you guys, I wouldn't bet on it. But that's the news as far as the economy goes, and the vaccine. Still very optimistic as people look forward to December, the holidays, and then getting 2020 over with. Today, the markets were up, so I did close out on a couple of swing trades. So first, going into my personal trades, I bought more of JD. That's a swing that I entered into yesterday. My average is now 85.42. I'm not worried about this yet, and I'll continue to buy if opportunities present and it goes lower. AYX is a really fantastic ticker. I love trading this. The spread is so huge. Just to kind of give you guys a sense, like yesterday, it was down at 113. I was, in the red on this trade. Today, it hit a sell level for me at 120.87. So my average on this, and I'm still holding a piece. So my average on this is 115.98. And, so selling today at 120 gave me a 4.8 point gain. So that's a really great gain for me for a swing trade. Super happy about this trade. And my next sell level is at 122.90. I have been buying and selling this ticker, for the past few months. So if opportunity presents where it hits low levels again, I'm just going to buy more and then sell and then buy and then sell. And all the while that I'm doing this, I'm actually taking the profits that I'm making from AYX and then allocating those profits to other, tickers as I enter into other trades. So, sometimes you might be thinking, well, if you're just buying and selling and buying and selling, where is the benefit? Well, the benefit is that every time I sell, that's cash that goes into my account that I can then allocate to use and, enter into other trades. So we'll continue to watch AYX. The other sell that came through was for BIDU. That's BIDU. My average on this is 135.39, and I sold today for 139.97. Usually I have like a small sell, like I sell a small piece of it, usually around anywhere from a third of my shares to a half of the shares, to really just lock in a decent profit. I usually do that around 2 points or 2.5, or even 1.5 if the trade's not going my way. This trade, I, didn't want to do that at all because I felt very confident that it would hit the 139.97 level because of, again, the pivot point strategy that I follow. So, I am really glad that for that I was all in, and now I'm all out at 139. And my net gain for that was 4.58. So really great sell for me. And I'm excited to post that one. The last sell I had today was with Dell. So my average is 67.56. That's because I'm still holding. So again, I did the strategy on Dell that I kind of talked about previously, where I sell a small piece. So I sold a small piece at 70.38, a really great gain on that, 2.82. It's just that Dell is such a solid company, and I don't mind holding this company. So that's why, I really wanted to wait to, hit a higher level. But I have gone ahead and brought my sell level down to 70.96. So I am just gonna, give it another 50 cents or so to really rake in as much profit as I can. But my next sell is at that level. The last ticker that I want to talk about today is NIO. Oh, you guys, if you're watching on the live stream, you can see me just shaking my head in disappointment. This was a disaster for me this morning. I do still think that it's going to turn out and it's going to be okay, but it was a disaster. I love the electric vehicle stocks. And so when I saw a few of them drop, I looked at LI, I looked at NIO. I was like, I want to get in on this. I want to buy something that I think is going to bounce. I decided to go with NIO. It's so painful because, I do follow trading mentors. And he said right now that something, is going on with the electric vehicles. In the morning, he was saying that. And he was saying that it was too risky for him and he wasn't going to play with it. And, I just love my strategy of following these quarterly pivots. So I, did have, not only did a previous end of day close, and the level was 48.19. So I had that level. So I was watching NIO off the top of the open. It was just dropping. So I thought, maybe it was going to bounce at previous day close at 48.19. That's what it did yesterday. So I did buy a tiny piece there, and then it continued to drop. I'm like, no problem whatsoever. You know why? Because there are two pivot points coming up down below. There is a quarterly pivot and a monthly pivot. These pivot points are really great data to show resistance lines when normally it's impossible to really see or, try to predict where these stocks are going to bounce and where they're going to go. So the pivots really help a lot. So I had a quarterly pivot down a little bit above 46.84, and then another monthly pivot down at 46.57. So I bought a little bit more into those levels. My average is now at 47, which it's not great. And so this is a trade that, a lot of times I love when you guys enter into the swing trades with me. I don't mind at all. You obviously need to trade at your own risk. I have a disclaimer on my podcast, on the YouTube, I'm not licensed broker. This is your trades. I'm just, sharing my life with you guys and my expertise on the strategies that I follow that have proven successful. So, with all that being said, NIO continued to drop. It really fell this afternoon. So, it dropped way past that monthly pivot. It dropped past another weekly pivot at 45.49. And, now it's sitting around 44.50. So this is just horrible to see because, obviously as traders, we like to see when we're right. We like to see when, I'm reacting to the market, I'm reacting to what the chart's telling me, I'm buying, and then I'm looking for a certain action. And this one, it's not the action I wanted whatsoever. Even more so disturbing to me is that there is a strong pivot again, but not until 41.68. So in my mind, when I'm reading this chart, it basically means that I can expect it to drop, continue to drop, because there's just this empty space between 44, 48, where we're sitting now, to 41. So from 44.50 to 41.50, I can imagine it quickly dropping even down to that level. And I don't know what to tell you guys. This is going to be an interesting learning experience for us all. Some people, they do use stop losses. And, if I were to go ahead and put in a stop loss, it would probably be around now. It'd probably be around 44.50. But I actually don't utilize stop losses because I found when evaluating the trades that I was making in the past that a lot of the swing trades that I did where my stop loss was hit, they did end up bouncing and becoming profitable. So following that strategy, instead of a stop loss, I follow a time loss. So I actually give it a long time. I give these trades 90 days. So I do very much track these trades, follow them, see if they are hitting any significant movements. If they're just bouncing around, in those cases, I try to kind of ignore the trade and let it play out. So that being said, I don't have a stop loss on NIO. I do have it in my head that, if it gets to 41.50, and continues to blow down past that point, I might have to reevaluate. But I am expecting this to bounce. And we'll just have to play this together. Since my average is around 47, I am going to go ahead and put a first sell level at 48.41. So that's just so that I can size down a little bit and take my profit where I can. Normally, I do like to see things play out, but this was such a huge drop that, I'm going to secure a little bit of a profit before, I really get to my goal. My goal sell level for this was right around the weekly pivot up at 53.24. So originally, when I bought down at 48, that's where I was expecting this to bounce up to eventually, in the next week or so. And it still might in the next few weeks, and I am going to leave on pieces to let it get there, give it the time it needs to develop. But, this is one that we're all going to watch. And with the electric vehicle stocks, they are so much fun to trade. You never really can predict where they're going to go. You could just watch the market, watch your charts and see what happens. We did see a very similar move today from LI. So that makes me feel confident because at least they're all kind of doing the same thing. And that makes me feel like, these movements are regular. It's not like NIO was something out of the ordinary. And then of course, you have to look to the number one electric vehicle, which is Tesla. Everybody loves watching Tesla and Tesla news. And it did have a little bit of a drop off the open. Some people I know bought at that level at 585. I thought that was way too high. I'm glad I didn't buy at that level. It's now sitting at 581. And I just feel like Tesla, it was overextended. And, perhaps on this road to the S&P 500, we will see it fluctuate a little bit. There's a very strong pivot point around 549. So that is really the highest I would consider buying Tesla at this point. But of course, with the stock market, things change every day. That's part of the excitement. So I look forward to recording with you guys all again tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow since it is Wednesday. I try to start around 12:20 or 12:30. So that's when you can expect to watch the live stream. And then, of course, I'll be posting the Are You Green podcast. You can listen wherever you listen to your podcast. And then if you want to have a conversation with me, please feel free to reach out to me via Instagram. The Instagram handle is Are You Green Podcast. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to a great week. I hope everyone profited from the high market today. Take care. Bye-bye. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's so much fun to be back on the live stream with everyone. I really am looking forward to this week. So I'll see you Wednesday and Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.